Hello at magandang araw mga kasangga. Isa na namang araw ng talakayan ang hatid ko sa inyo. Welcome here in Soxytopedia. If hindi ka pa nakapag-subscribe sa ating YouTube channel, mag-subscribe ka na and click the notification bell for you to be notified for the updates and new uploaded videos.
Good day, our dear great students. Welcome again here in our subject. Welcome to Core 13, Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics, or UCSP. And today we are delving into the intricate tapestry of culture, exploring both its tangible or material and intangible or non-material facets. Our focus will be on the material and non-material culture. We will examine here the characteristics and the dynamic nature that shapes human society. So let's jump right in. Our topic will focus on identifying aspects of culture, and our objectives are first to define and differentiate the two kinds of culture, and next is to describe and explain the 10 characteristics or the characteristics of culture. So without further ado, let's start our discussion. As you can see in our presentation, we have two important terms, and we have the material culture and the non-material culture. Let's start first with identifying what is all about material culture. So material culture encompasses the physical manifestations of the human creativity. Okay, material culture, it talks about the concrete and tangible things that man creates and uses. Okay, this includes our homes, neighborhoods, cities, and various structures. Okay, all of these physical aspects of a culture help to define its members' behaviors and perceptions. Okay, and when we talk about material culture, so how do these concrete elements contribute to defining our behaviors and perceptions within a culture? I want you to answer this question, and I want you to comment your answers and send. Please don't forget to type your name and of course your section, so I could consider you present today. Yeah, because this activity is your attendance today. Okay, when we talk about non-material culture, non-material culture focuses on the non-physical ideas that people have about their culture, including the belief, values, rules, norms, morals, language, organizations, and institutions. And the non-material aspect of culture is the meaning and substance inherent in culture. As you can see, if you're going to compare material and non-material, material focuses on the things that we can touch, okay, or tangible. And when we talk about non-material things or culture, it talks about the culture that we cannot touch or intangible. Okay, we have culture, we have belief, values, rules, norms, morals, language, organizations, and institutions. Let's explore some key characteristics that define culture. So, ano-ano nga ba yung characteristic ng isang kultura? Culture is dynamic because it constantly changing. And sabi ko nga, diba, there is only one thing that cannot be changed, and that is change, because change is constant. It goes through revision with each generation. It changes to adapt to the shifting needs of a society, and the only permanent thing in this world is change. So do culture. Okay, next is we have culture is flexible. Indeed, culture is flexible. About flexible, it adapt, okay, to different circumstances and in changes depending on the need of a particular period. Okay, yeah, it's like a survival mechanism for societies. Okay, number 3, culture is adaptive. Through the use of culture, people use culture to adjust to changes into the natural environment and man-made world. And people built homes or houses, wore clothes, and invented weapons to cope to the different elements around them, because that's one of the characteristics of culture, that culture is adaptive. Okay, culture is adaptive throughout history. We've used culture to cope up or to cope with changes in our environment. Next is we have culture is shared, and this is correct. Culture is shared, able to act in socially appropriate ways as well as predict how others will act. Okay, and because people interact with each other, they learn their culture by observing, listening, and talking with other people. That's correct and that's observable. The shared nature of culture enables us to predict and understand others' behaviors. Okay. Next, we have number 5. Culture is contested because people have different ways of living and ways of thinking. They disagree with each other. Okay, as a result, they argue, fight, and prove to each other that what they believe is superior to what other people believe. Diba? Yan, hindi natin may iwasan yan na ito yung kultura ko, so ito yung tama. Okay, bawal kumain ng mga insekto, bawal kumain ng mga dinuguan because this is my culture. Okay? At hanggang sa ngayon ay nangyayari ito. Diba? We have differences in belief, often lead to disagreements and conflicts, and it's a constant negotiation for what each group believes is right. Number 6, culture is learned. Each one of us starts with no notion what is supposed to be right and wrong. This is correct. Diba? Simula nung bata pa tayo, hindi pa natin alam kung ano yung tama at mali. Okay, but as we grow older, our society molds our personality and we learn what should be proper or not through inculturation. Okay, dito papasok yung word na inculturation. Tandaan nyo lang yan. Kasi culture is learned. So sa pagkatuto ng kultura, mayroong dalawang uri ng pagkatuto ng kultura. Okay, first is inculturation and second is acculturation. Kapag sinabing inculturation, natututunan mo yung kultura mo. That is inside. Okay, inculturation or inside. Natututunan mo yung kultura na meron ka. Kapag sabing acculturation, outside. Okay, natututunan mo yung kultura ng iba. Okay, that's the difference between inculturation and acculturation. Next, diba? Inculturation is a process by which a child learns his or her culture or inside. Okay, your culture natututunan mo. That's inculturation. Next is culture is patterned. The learned behavior of people is patterned. Each person's behavior often depends upon some particular behavior of someone else. Okay, our behaviors are other term for pattern is interconnected. Okay, what one person does often depends on the actions of others. Okay, next is we have culture is integrated. Why? Because known as holism. Okay, or the various parts of a culture being interconnected. Okay, integrated means known as holism. Okay, the integration of these various cultural parts forms a coherent whole. When we talk about integrated, ang kultura natin ay interconnected to each culture. Number 9, culture is transmitted, handed down from one generation to another. Okay, the acquired learning of culture is passed on to succeeding generations primarily through language. Okay, and this is correct, diba? Language is a powerful tool for passing down cultural knowledge, and it's how traditions and beliefs are preserved across generations. Okay, and for the conclusion, maybe our exploration today has shed light on the diverse and intricate nature of culture. And as we continue our journey, let's keep in mind that understanding these aspects allows us to appreciate the richness and the complexity of the societies we inhabit. So thank you for your valuable contributions. But before we end our discussion, let's discuss first our day 6 then. We will discuss our day 6, the different elements of culture. Okay, we have to analyze and describe the significant features of the major elements of culture. We have the so-called the major elements of culture. We have the language, the belief, the values, and norms. Isa-isay natin yun mamaya sa ating discussion. Language, it is a set of basic symbols used for communication. And belief, ideas that people hold about the universe or any part of the total reality surrounding them. Values talks about the shared ideas about desirable goals. Norms focuses on established standard of behavior maintained by a society. So we have 3 forms of norms, and under ng norms ay we have the mores, we have the folkways, and we have the laws. Okay? So ano-ano nga bang ibig sabihin nito? Mores, it is a set of norms that define the most fundamental ideas about what is considered right and wrong, or this is our moral. Okay? In human behavior, it is considered important. Okay? Of course, mores talks about knowing what is goodness and the badness. Okay? For example, a man who walks down a street wearing nothing on the lower half of his body is, of course, violating one of our most important mores. Okay? The requirement that people cover their genitals and buttocks in public. Diba? That is correct. And that is mores. In short, mores is a common sense of what is wrong and what is right. Okay? Yes. And next, we have folkways. Folkways naman, these are norms that are simply customary, normal, or habitual way a group does things. One of the essential features of folkways is that there is no strong feeling of right and wrong attached to them. If one violates folkways, there is no punishment attached to them. Okay. Example, we have here in the Philippines, rituals are performed together with superstitious beliefs. During a funeral, mirrors in house should be covered for the soul of the deceased loved ones might get trapped inside. Diba? If this is not followed, there is no corresponding punishment. Okay, that is folkways. Kapag hindi mo sinunod, or if you violate there is no punishment attached to that folkways. Okay, for example, ito nga, kapag sa patay, yan, dapat daw wag coveran yung mirror kasi hindi daw makakaalis or matatrap daw yung kaluluwa ng namatay. Okay, that's folkways. Pero ginagawa pa rin natin. Okay? Yung iba naman hindi ginagawa kasi okay lang. Di ba? Wala namang corresponding punishment yon. Okay? At marami pang iba, mga superstitious beliefs natin. Next is we have laws. Laws naman, these are formal norms. They are rules with formal sanctions of the state. Laws are formally enacted by the proper authorities, so people would act correspondingly. Okay, syempre, laws, we all know that we have these laws and we have to follow our laws. The law prohibited men to batter their wives. Women can now sue their husbands if they do so. Okay, the law guarantees the protection of the lives of children, and as such, children must be protected and taken care of. So this is one of the examples of laws, di ba? Na meron tayo. At marami pang iba dyan. Okay? So that's the 3 forms of norms. We have the mores, our common sense, knowing what is correct and what is wrong. Folkways naman, it's okay to violate rules that are no punishment attached to it. And laws, it talks about the formal or the rules, the policies, okay, that we need to obey. Okay, and that's the end of our discussion. Thank you for coming and listening to our discussion. And please don't forget to um, comment your answers on the comment section so I could consider you present today. God bless.